YouTube, how's it going? So we are going to be doing a different kind of review, a vlog review for today. Instead of doing a specific movie or series review, we will be doing a review for not one, not two, not three, but 5 titles which dropped on Netflix for the past 2 weeks. So I'm sort of calling this our Netflix October overview. However, we are not including The Haunting of Bly Manor, which we already did a separate vlog review for. If you have not checked that out yet, you can check it out on the link here. Okay, so as I mentioned, we are doing 5 reviews. We will be discussing The Trial of the Chicago 7, which is a movie, Rebecca, which is another movie, The Alienist, Angel of Darkness, which is basically the second season of The Alienist, The Queens Gambit, which is a limited series, and Over the Moon, which is an animated feature. So actually, I have a couple of full reviews for some of the titles here, the earlier titles that have dropped. You can check them out on the blog teampicheng.com/blog. And actually, for updates on reviews or vlogs posted, you can see them all on our Facebook page, Team Picheng. So please do take time and check over our Facebook page, and please like the page. We are trying to reach 2,000 likes very soon. So let's get started. Okay, so The Trial of Chicago 7 is actually based on real events. So it's a dramatization of real events which happened in 1969, wherein 7 defendants were accused by the federal government of conspiring to cross state lines to incite a riot because of the different protests that were happening during that time. They were asked, these protesters were calling for a stop to the Vietnam War, among other things. So there, and actually I really enjoyed this movie so much. I think it has a possibility for a lot of nominations. So it was written and directed by Aaron Sorkin, who also did some work in The Social Network. So the script is very, very sharp. There are actually a lot of good lines in there, you know, the lines that you can actually use in speeches. So I actually found myself pausing and having to write down the lines of some of the characters because they were so good. And the movie also gives us some serious courtroom drama, you know, some that we have not seen in a long time. So it stars an ensemble cast. I would have to give a shout out to Sacha Baron Cohen, who was for me the MVP here. He definitely should get a Best Supporting nomination for his role here. He actually has a couple of really good scenes there, and he just delivers them on point. So I also have to commend the editing of the movie. So it was done really well. I love that, you know, because it was a trial. I love that they did not reveal everything yet. So there are actually a bunch of surprises towards the end of the movie, which I appreciated. So there, another thing, of course, that you have to point out is the shocking modern parallelism, or you know, you would see a lot of the things that they are fighting for in the movie that, you know, they are still happening today in 2020, which is like a big shock. That, you know, we are having to fight for our right, our constitutional right to protest and, you know, to let our voices be heard. So it's actually it's a very relevant movie to watch now. So I hope you guys are not sitting on it, because it's really, really good. So that's it. The Trial of the Chicago 7. I actually have a full review up on the blog if you want to check it out. Okay, so let us head on over to our second movie. So this is Rebecca. So it's actually based on a 1938, I believe, 1938 gothic horror novel of the same name. So and there has been a number of film TV adaptations of this movie. In fact, in 1940, Alfred Hitchcock directed one, and it's actually Oscar nominated, in it's actually got a couple of awards under its belt. However, unfortunately, 2020's Rebecca doesn't really fill the shoes of its predecessor, so it actually lacks in a couple of departments. I could feel that the theme of the movie was not really on point. I could feel it going from romance to horror to even a coming of age story, maybe. The movie stars Lily James and Armie Hammer, who I think fit the roles. I did notice that it sort of with some amusement that it was like a twisted take on the Cinderella tale, which is funny because Lily James did play Cinderella in Disney's live action adaptation. So there's that, and I also it's a good movie to be an example to talk about toxic relationships and basically having because I think the movie reflects that the true horror is actually not the ghosts in Manderley, which is like the big house there, but the ghosts that haunt that place. But actually the horror is that marriage is presented as an aspiration for women during that time, and if you're not married, if you're alone, that's like a terrible fate for you, and even worse, the divorce is even a worse fate. So that's actually like the true horror in there. And being in a toxic relationship, being in a marriage, even though it's a sham, and even if it's loveless, and even if you hate each other, just trying to stick it out, basically just for appearances. So that's a very significant talking point about the movie, and probably like my only takeaway from it. So I have a full review up on the blog for Rebecca if you want to check it out. So it's not really memorable for me, so there you have it. And let us go on to review number 3, which is The Alienist, Angel of Darkness. This is basically season 2 of the series, so I was actually a fan of the first one. I have a copy of the book, although I've not finished reading it yet. It's actually an Emmy award-winning series because of the costumes and the production design, so I have to hand it to them. They still put that bar in the second season. So I did notice that like the trend now is instead of just saying season 2 or season 3, there'd be like a subtitle. So for The Alienist, it's Angel of Darkness, which of course is, I believe, also the name of the novel, like the second book, I think. Season 1 or season 2? I actually like season 2 better. It felt more like there were more things at stake. Although I think that's because I'm biased because I'm a mother, and actually the season looks into motherhood, childbirth. It looks at it at a different scope. Actually, when you talk about motherhood, people think that it's all it's beautiful and it's supposed to be perfect and peaceful, but there are actually a lot of I wouldn't like to say horror, but there's actually a lot of ugly things that people don't like to talk about, that that are considered taboo because there are these expectations for women to be like the perfect mothers, but in reality there's actually a lot riding onto it. So motherhood, it's like it's not only childbirth. It's not only like there's not only physical labor and challenges that go with it, there's also like the mental and emotional trauma, that could happen. So this is actually looked into in the second season. Especially it's set in like the 1800s in New York. So we're talking about the healthcare system, which is not so great. So it can be very traumatic. So actually, like the first 2 episodes were I had a couple of screams in there because it's not really for the faint of heart. But after those episodes, it's pretty much steady on from there. So yeah, I did like that it looked into a lot of aspects of motherhood, not just the beautiful perfect side of it, because it's not a theme that is often looked at. So there's I don't know if you guys know this about me, but actually I'm a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Nursing, so I did spend some time in the hospital. So there are actually a lot of things that I saw and experienced there that sort of also reflect what was in the series. So I actually had a patient that suffered from post-traumatic postpartum disorder. So it's basically like being traumatized or going to depression after giving birth. So this is also like treated in the series, which I appreciated because it's a reality that we really don't like to talk about or look into. So yeah, and of course the psychology of it all is also discussed. So I appreciated that. Although, like the first season, my problem with this one is the pacing. So sometimes, I think some episodes could have been better if it was like cut shorter. Or although, compared to the first season, which had 10 episodes, Angel of Darkness had just like 8. So that was a good start. Although they could have trimmed some more, or quicken the pace in some episodes. So before I jump on to my next review, I would also just like to point out that I appreciated they gave this modern look with even if it was set in the 1800s, it's interesting that Luke Evans's character, John Moore. So he, among the 3 of them, because there's like 3 of them, Luke Evans, Dakota Fanning, and Daniel Brühl. So among the 3 of them, it was actually Luke Evans's character who wanted the traditional family, get married, settled, have kids. While Dakota Fanning, she was actually described in the series like as a man in a corset. So it was actually fun. So it was actually Luke Evans's character who wanted the traditional family, and Dakota Fanning's character was more like career oriented. So I appreciated that twist in there. So I don't know if there's going to be a 3rd season. I don't know if there's like a 3rd book, but I enjoyed this one, Angel of Darkness. There was actually a lot of suspense in there. So yeah, a lot writing in it. So if you're like me, if you're a mom like me, you might need to toughen up a bit because there are a couple of traumatic scenes in there. So that's it. Let's move on over to my next review, which is The Queens Gambit. So this one, I actually was looking forward to seeing it for some time. So it's actually a limited series starring Anya Taylor-Joy, whom I love so much. I have been a fan of hers for a long time, and sometimes when I see her on the screen, it's like I can't take my eyes off her. Not only is she gorgeous, she really acts well. So I was happy that she got the lead role in this. Alright, so The Queen's Gambit is actually about this chess prodigy, so Anya Taylor's character, and it's actually set in the 60s. So I actually don't know anything about chess, like math, it just escapes me, but I was still able to enjoy the series. So it's not like those series that you would be thrown jargon, here and there, and you won't understand what's going on. Granted, I didn't really get any. Well, I did probably learn a few new things about chess that I did not, realize. But yeah, I still enjoyed it, even if I don't play chess. So what more for those of you guys who do? So the Queen's Gambit. So yeah, it's about this child prodigy who basically conquers the world because she is such a good chess player. But behind that, there's actually darker themes in it. So there's this thin line between like genius and being crazy. So I think I believe that the series also deals with like mental illness and depression. So oftentimes people who are brilliant, they cross between that line. So the series tackles on that. So like brilliant people and how they handle the pressure and the things that come with being the best at what you do. So for Anya Taylor-Joyce's character, she's also battling with a lot of demons. She was actually an orphan, so there's that, and she develops this drug dependence and also a bit of alcohol abuse. So there are those themes in there. What I did not expect about the series is that I saw some similarities with traditional anime. So like I'm not only talking about the sports anime, because it's about chess, but like the good old animes that had like like Yu Hakusho or Flame of Recca that had the tournament arc. So in some ways the Queen's Gambit also follows that the structure actually. And it starts out Anya Taylor-Joyce's character, Beth, she's actually an orphan, so most of her life she's alone. But then she realizes that she's actually made friends and comrades along the way who give her a helping hand, which is also something that friendship is like a common theme in anime series. So that's why I think I enjoyed it because it was a bit reminiscent of like all the anime that I enjoyed growing up. So yeah, it's a pretty solid series, an enjoyable one, and there it's now streaming on Netflix. So the Queen's Gambit. I also enjoyed like the music that they use in the series. Of course, very 60s, and the fashion. Have to commend the fashion. So if you're a fan of Anya Taylor-Joy like I am, you have to check it out. And there are also a couple of surprise castings in there that I did not expect. So I'm actually talking about Thomas Brody Sanger, who we might have seen on the Maze Runner series, and of course he was also in Game of Thrones. So I did not expect him to be there, but he was there. And of course we have Harry Melling, who played Dudley in Harry Potter. So I actually did not recognize him, that he was the actor who played Dudley, and he was actually also in The Devil All the Time review over here if you haven't seen it. So he was also in The Devil All the Time in The Queen's Gambit. So yeah, an enjoyable series, like just breeze through it. So, and last but not the least, let us talk about the animated musical Over the Moon. So it's actually from Pearl Studios, who brought us Abominable last year. So actually I enjoyed Abominable, but of course there was that hullabaloo with there was that issue with the 9-yard dash line. So that it's a bit political. So I was actually a bit wary about Over the Moon, but I think they're trying to make it up for us Filipinos, because for Over the Moon, the actress who plays the lead character, Fei Fei, is actually half Filipino. She's like Chinese Phil-Am. So there, I don't know if they they did that intentionally, you know, to make amends. I don't know, but she's actually a pretty good singer. And well, in truth, I actually read that they were impressed by the demo that she sent of the song of a song that was used in the movie, and that's why they hired her. So there. So actually Over the Moon is I think Netflix's take on, you know, trying on the Disney formula. So of course, over the years, Disney has perfected that musical animation formula with, you know, a leading girl, you know, with big dreams, big ambitions, and Netflix is trying their hand in that. And I think this one was a good try, especially since the director Glenn Keane is actually a former Disney animator, so he's actually worked on a lot of Disney movies, from The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Pocahontas. So they're actually really going along that route. So I would have to commend them on the animation and the music. The animation was very impressive. Not as beautiful as Abominable, because Abominable had really good scenes, like painted scenes in there of nature. But I guess it was also the setting. But what impressed me in terms of animation was Lunaria, which was like this kingdom on the moon. So I think it was inspired from a Pink Floyd album cover. I forget which one. But there, so that was probably like the most impressive in terms of animation. In terms of music, the music was pretty good. I have to commend like one number in there that's like obviously a direct nod to K-pop. So like I had to give them props for that. That was like a nice touch, I think. And I also appreciated that they had like an all Asian cast in there. So John Cho is in the cast, Ken Jeong is there, Sandra Oh. And you know, it celebrates Chinese culture, Chinese traditions. One thing that I wrote in my notes while watching the movie is that you'll definitely miss big family gatherings, because you know it was in the movie, and you know, like Filipinos, you know, Chinese also like have those big family gatherings, extended family. So yeah, definitely miss those, especially you know, with our current quarantine situation. Alright, so why did I say that it tries on the Disney formula but is not quite there yet? So I think it's the emotional nuances that they haven't quite caught yet. Well, for me, you know, it's not quite there yet. It's a good try. There's actually a lot of positive reviews for the movie, but for me, just a little more push with the emotions and the themes actually. So yeah, but if your kids are bored at home and you know they're missing the whole musical animated feature thing, so yeah, you might want to check out Over the Moon with them, which is now streaming on Netflix also. So yeah, I will get on to writing full reviews for Angel of Darkness, the Alienist, Angel of Darkness, the Queens Gambit, and Over the Moon. And so you can see those up on the blog soon. Again, that's teamteaching.com/blog. And for updates, make sure that you go on over to our Facebook page, Team Teaching, and like the page, so that you would know whenever, you know, I have a new review up or whenever we have a new vlog up. And guys, please do subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it so much. You can also follow me on my Instagram at @ika_cheng. So let me know, do you prefer this like overview vlog review, you know, wherein we discuss like 5 titles, or would you prefer like specific titles like what we would do before? So let me know in the comments. All right, and yeah, we would love to hear from you guys. So that is it for now. I have been talking for a long time. My throat is a bit itchy. So yeah, catch you guys soon, and take care.